Hi, Happy New Year. Greg, your community geek is back at it again. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Uh, I'm going to try something new this year. I'm going to try to answer more questions on video. I've got these computers and cameras and switchers, and I've got the Zoom drones and everything set up. Why shouldn't I use it to answer some questions? This first one is I've had more than one person ask me, and I've got someone recently that asked me, is that I believe they're getting a hand-me-down iPad from someone, and they asked me what can or can't do on it. Can it be a laptop or can it be a desktop? And so my quick answer was no, it's not the same thing. But the reality is you can do an awful lot with some added accessories. And so I'll even go as far as to say that the some of the applications that are made that are for the phone or for the iPad, they're phenomenal. They're often very simplified, so you can get right to task. And so there are some things that I think folks would appreciate being able to do on a more mobile centric, touch centric device. Not so great when you've got to sit down and type in a lot or do actual work. And so what I tell folks is that figure out the applications you do or don't use on a regular base and just we'll go from there. You give me a list, text it to me or something like that. So, like I said, as an answer to that, I'd like to show you guys another opportunity for using an iPad in a more desktop kind of replacement mode. So, if it's okay with you, I'm going to switch cameras and I'm going to go to here. Let's see. And let's start with this. So, first things first is I've got two iPads that I'm working with. This first one here is kind of this is like three or maybe even four generations old, and it's actually just sitting in a case. This is a case that has a keyboard, and the iPad just magnetically comes in. But if you notice, this keyboard is not that great to type on long term. Doing like writing up a newsletter or something like that. The other option is something like this. This is a 2-year-old, 3-year-old iPad now, but this actually has a keyboard that's got movable keys, and also it has a little trackpad that acts like a mouse. So you can launch applications, you can type, you can move your cursor around to find things. So if it's okay, I would like to use this one to do this. And I'm also asking everybody for feedback. So I'm going to make sure I don't get in the thing. I'm going to turn on my little business card here at the bottom. And I'm also going to zoom this in over here. I just noticed too. Well, I shouldn't say I noticed, but I left it here. The Seek the Geek sign is not permanent. Those are actually Christmas ornaments we bought on clearance. And I'm thinking about different orientations to make as a sign, and I'm probably going to glue them to something here in the future. So let's start with, let's see. And I also can do an overhead. So let's start with that. Okay, I'm going to hook up a keyboard first. So the keyboard is a inexpensive keyboard that does three devices. One is with a little receiver. The second or the first and the second that are marked there are Bluetooth. So I'm going to take the little receiver out of the mouse. Oh, this came in a little kit, by the way. It's Walmart brand. And I'm going to use the little receiver. I need to turn on this mouse. And I'm also going to turn on the keyboard. And the important item that I want to talk about first is this dongle, if you will. This is about, I think it's like $18 on Amazon. And it's a USB-C, so it's got the uh, little USB-C cable that you also would have on the iPad. And it's got a number of different inputs available for it. The USB, which we're going to use now, SD card, and also an HDMI, which I'm excited to show you for a monitor. So Let's start by putting the little chiclet in here. What did I put it upside down? No, I didn't. I did it right. All right. And on the iPad and keyboard, this has a little, I'm not sure what you want to call it, a little holder, little receptacle. Oh, that's not bad. Let's pull this down a little bit here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this in to the iPad here. And in doing so, I need to click and hold down this button so it says I'm connecting a little green light to the, did that do it long enough? I think it might have. Typing in here, and I want to type in maybe notes and try to resist touching the screen. And then there's my type test I just did before we started the video. Okay, so I'm deleting characters and I'm going to do another type test here and then enter. All right. And then the exciting part I wanted to show you is, how do I do this? Let me go back to this one here. I've got a monitor, and on this monitor, it's got a little HDMI cable. And I'm going to go back so I know I can see on here. The little alert screen I'll get is when I plug in this monitor, and I believe it's still on, I've got external display, came on, and I believe you can see this. You can, but I can show this to you here in a minute a little better. Well, let's do that now. Let's see. If I go to this one, you should be able to see me here, a little bit of mouse, and you should be able to see the monitor. So I'm going to move this mouse over onto this screen, and I'm sitting here pointing with my finger, but you can see the little dot. So I was just in, come on, click there, notes. So type test, we're going to call this number 3, and you can type like it's normal. Now, some folks would say, can you do other stuff? Like, oh, and by the way, too, you may not always notice this, but there's little dots at the top now when you enable the mouse. So you can actually move this app, the Notes app, around. So in this case, I'm going to close it. And I want to show a Word document. Let's just do a blank one here. And we'll do another type test. And then we'll use my website, the Geek, and I can make, something bold or whatever, change the font. So it's got all the normal functionality that you would expect with keyboard and mouse. Now, let's see. I do think I want to make mention of a few connections also. There are other dongles. So let me go back to over the shoulder. There are dongles that are also USB-C that only have a HDMI plug. This one actually has one USB plug on it. So this would also work. It's also from Walmart. The other one just happens to have some additional functionality that I like. So that's why I used it in this demonstration. And I think that's enough. Let me go back over here. We'll go to close this out. I'll only ask you for some feedback as I start to think about 2025. I'd like to do more of these. So please take a minute, maybe in the comments below, or send me an email or give me a call. I'd love to explain other technology items to our community. I also am planning another tech day. Not sure when it'll be. I still have the old one up on the website, but the talk has been, let's do it here in the winter months. Might even do some Mac training. As folks know, I tend to recommend the MacBook Air as the #1 laptop to buy at this point. There's very little that can compete with it. And so there's a number of folks in the community that now have them and would like to, dig in a little bit deeper and try to turn on and off settings and other stuff that make their lives easier. So you enjoy. I look forward to seeing you some more.